Shalom, Yashrala. This your brother Dawada, coming back at you with this here truth again. First and foremost, I want to give all praise unto Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakak double honor to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that taught us his truth and our will. And salutation and much love for you, Arkin, pushing his truth and sincerity on the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions to feed and edify the elect. So I want to jump into this here lesson as a response to a concern that one of the sheep had, as far as dealing with, enduring in this here truth and being in this here flesh, because we still in this here flesh, we all came up out of this here world, we all had so-called worldly desires and things like that, but nevertheless you have to understand that real quick, let me get a precept. I think this is in the book of hold on, Matthew, oh, too far. This is John 3 and 3. It says, and Yahushua answered and said unto him, Verily, verily, I say unto you, except a man be born again, he cannot see the kingdom of the Most High. All right, so basically, let me keep reading. Verse 4, Nicodemus said unto him, How can a man be born when he is old? Can he enter the second time into his mother's womb and be born? All right, obviously this is a metaphor. All right, it says, Yahushua answered, Verily, verily, I say unto you, except a man be born of water and of spirit, he cannot enter to the kingdom of the Most High. That which is born of the flesh is flesh, and that which is born of the spirit is spirit. All right, marvel not that I say unto thee, you must be born again. So going into that, the fact of the matter is, like he was telling him, the how do I say, the metaphor more or less that you have to understand is what this scenario is. You have to be born again. All right, as far as coming back as a baby again. Babies, they're like sponges. They soak up everything. All right, but more or less in this here scenario, you have to let go of the old ways, because obviously you was born into this here place. All right, if you were like most of us, you was born here in America, and you celebrated your birthday, Christmas, Thanksgiving, getting edges, lineups, eating pork chops and things like that, right? For an example. All right, so this is how you was brought up in this here place, but then there's to come a point in time where you have to shed these things off. All right, now of course, I gave those examples of the things you probably were doing back in the world, obviously, using this as an example, because you've been eating, let's just say, pork for your whole life, and again, this is just an example, but you've been eating pork your whole life. It's maybe kind of hard for you to stop that cold turkey. You know what I'm saying? You may still be having a desire, man, I want some pork chop or whatever, whatnot. Again, I'm just using that as an example as far as things that you used to do in the world or whatever, whatnot, or things you used to desire in the world, or things you were accustomed to in the world. Now you're coming into this here truth, and you have to be born again. All right, that old man has to die. All right, you're still gonna have, how do I say, temptations of that old man coming back, more or less to say. All right, so we're gonna go to the book of Ecclesiasticus, or the book of Sirach, chapter 2 and verse 1. It says, My son, if thou come to serve Yahweh, prepare thy soul for temptation. All right, so going back into what I was just going into again, you may have been doing something in the world, whatever it is that you was doing in the world. You may have like doing this or that, whatever in the world, that as far as when you come into this truth, you find out that, hey, that's not lawful or that's not expedient. Let's just say, for instance, in the world, you used to chase women all the time. That was your big thing, but now you come into this truth and you realize, like, yo, that's not going to give me salvation. And plus, that's not expedient right now. And obviously, it really ain't nothing wrong with, looking for women or whatever, whatnot, but you have to understand, it's like in wartime, battlefield time, it's like, yo, there's nothing wrong with you getting a woman or whatever, whatnot in the military. They kind of, they don't have a problem with you getting married and having kids while you're in the military. The thing is that shouldn't be your number one concern while on the battlefield, while bullets are flying. While bullets are flying you on the battlefield, you should be focused on the battle at hand, not having children and so on and so forth. So you have to put that on the back burner while you're being deployed, in the middle of a war zone. That's not expedient at that point in time. So yeah, you may be on the battlefield, been deployed for 6-7 months, and you think about, man, I want to get with a woman. Yeah, you're gonna still have those desires because that was what you was used to back in the world before you joined the military. But now that you're in the military and you're in the middle of a firefight, in the middle of a battle, conflict zone, you have to reprioritize certain things. Yeah, you're gonna still have those desires. You have all these men in the military. You don't think that they have a sexual desire. You don't think that they have desires to be with their woman or whatever, whatnot. But the ones that survive, what was that movie? Was it Dead Presidents? Lorenz Tate and Chris Tucker. They was like, thinking about his old lady and the kids or whatever, whatnot. He's like, I don't give a fuck about them right now. Only thing I give a fuck about is getting the fuck up out of here. And hey, it sounds harsh, but that's the real reality of it. You can sit there and pull out your little picture of your wife and your kids in the middle of the war zone or whatever, whatnot, and be reminiscing on the memories or whatever, whatnot, and the good times that y'all had. But that's not, what you need to focus on. You need to put that picture away, put that back to the back burner. If you really love them and care about them and want to be with them, put that picture away and focus on the battlefield, the battle at hand on the battlefield, so that you can make it back home. All right. You don't want to be focused in on the wrong things. In the middle of a firefight, you pulled out this little picture and you're reminiscing and daydreaming about this and that, and all of a sudden, some sniper over here looking at you the whole time and pull you, put your cap back, basically, but that's the same thing here in this here truth, man. All right, especially as we come into the end all be all of these things here, it's not really, obviously these things are going to happen unto you, but nevertheless, you have to, how do I say, learn how to put those fleshly desires into subjection. And again, it's not going to be easy. Not saying, we in the truth. It's not saying that we don't ever have worldly desires or things like that or anything like that. Like we just cut everything off cold turkey. And that's, ultimately, we want our lives. We want to live life and everything like that. That's part of the reason why we're doing this. We sign and cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof, because this ain't no place or an environment to sit here and actually live. We're not living here. And that's what we, partitioning to the Lord. Like, Lord, look at this here wickedness that's going on, man. We can't raise a family in this. We can't live here. We can't be productive here. We can't do anything here, man. We can't even worship you here without all these damn demons around us. So, we partitioning for that. We're not trying to, how do I say, live our best life with the best scenario that we have and the conditions that we have now. It's a little different. We're actually pushing for a change, So it says, Ecclesiasticus chapter 2, verse 1, my son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation, set thy heart aright, and constantly endure, and make no haste in the time of trouble. So you have to constantly endure what? These temptations, man. Let's say, for instance, because this is one of the main things that happen in this here truth, man. You come into this truth. Before you come into the truth, you got an old lady. Everything is all good with you and your old lady. You come into this truth, you know what I'm saying? Hey, it might immediately happen or it might not immediately happen, but 9 times out of 10, y'all gonna wind up separating, Or you may, be a so-called ladies' man, have a whole lot of women around you all the time or whatever, whatnot. But then you come into this truth, and you come into this truth, you on fire. You're like, you know what? I don't need them distractions around me right now. I'm good. I didn't have enough women or whatever, whatnot. I don't need them distractions. But now, it's sweet in your mouth, but then it get bitter in your belly. You've been in this thing for a year, 2 years, 3 years, and your focus ain't been on women. But now all of a sudden you got this urge and this desire for women. But again, you have to understand, like, look, this is what that flesh is going to keep knocking, man. All right, but you have to be aware of that, and you have to be able to combat that, because in this here thing, your biggest battle is going to be with yourself, man. We have small battle campaigns with, scoffers or whatever, whatnot, on the highways and the byways defending the gospel. But ultimately, the real big battle is within yourself, man. All right, because you can so-called go out and defend the truth by bringing out precepts here and there on the highways and the byways and on the comment boards or whatever, whatnot. But if you're not applying these here scriptures to your life and constantly trying to better yourself day in and day out, then, you pretty much doing this for a waste of your own time, man. Because you should be the first and foremost person to be getting better with your life, man. All right, and again, being in the position that I'm in, I'm not saying, I'm saying this humbly, we damn sure not perfect, man. We all have things that we need to work on. We all are working on. So, I'm not saying this is like, oh, well, we perfect. We don't go off. Y'all just got to get y'all shit together. No, we all getting our shit together all together, man. All right. The Lord is purging us of these different things or whatever, whatnot. But we have to be able to understand are there certain things that the Most High is trying to purge us from. And it's not going to be you got a bad tooth in your mouth, right? You got to go to the dentist to get the tooth out to get better. But in the process of getting better, you're going to have to go through that pain first and foremost. All right. So it says, verse 3, cleave unto him and depart, not a way that thou mayest be increased at thy end. Hey, the analogy I just gave, man. All right, look, listen and trust unto your dentist. All right, because look, you came to me as the dentist, all right, with a tooth infection and a messed up tooth. You got to get this here tooth out and in pain and crying. Now I'm going to have to go in your mouth and I'm going to have to pull that bad boy out, and it's going to hurt. You're going to be in excruciating pain. But after the pain subsides, you're going to be in a way better position that you in. I got to sit here and bring you through this that you may be increased in the latter end. All right, you have to go through this here. Like people on drugs, right? When people be on drugs and they try to wean themselves off of those drugs, they have a state called a withdrawal state, And if you know about, what drug was it? Lean. I think lean, when you try to get off of lean, or actually, what is that? There's another one, because they give you like methadone or they give you like methadone or something like that to get off this other one. I can't think of what it is, but nevertheless, I knew somebody that was actually, this happened to one of their parents, but nevertheless, they had to go through this here dark state, just to get off this here drug. They talk about getting off of lean and how you be having the sweats or whatever, whatnot, can't sleep, you just throwing up, you just sick, all this and that. So for instance, you're a lean drinker or whatever, whatnot, you so-called feel like you feeling good when you drinking lean, all right, but then when you try to get off of lean, it's way worse. You just want to go back onto the lean, the calm that anxiety or whatever you want to call it. You want to calm that desire down. So what, you like, fuck it, I can't make it, I'm gonna go ahead and go back to the lean real quick. But you have to understand through going through that not to say a depression or oppression, but going through that lower state, more or less to say, all right, is how you're gonna wind up getting better, man. You have to so-called hit rock bottom before you can get back up, man. All right, you in a process of falling, you ain't gonna never stop falling until you hit the bottom. All right, then you can get back up and try to climb back up to the top, man. All right, just like if you fall out of a tree, all right, you can't climb back up to the tree until what? You first hit the bottom of the ground first, then you can get up on your feet and try to climb in the tree again. But as long as you're in the middle of the air falling down, you can't get back up into the tree yet until you actually hit the bottom to go back up, all right? Verse 4, whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully and be patient when thou art changed to a lower state. For gold is tried in the fire and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity, all right? So basically going into this, it's easier said than done. It says, when thou is being brought to, whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully and be patient when thou art changed to a lower state. Again, this is easy to say, but then, like for me and my own self, this is one of the things that I have to work on, not letting things bother me so quick and easily, and and so on and so forth. Because when you get in those type of positions, you make rash decisions, and so you don't want to be like that and just be like, fuck it, let's just, everything's off the table now and just run off or whatever, whatnot. So you can't be like that, you can't let the pressures of this here walk or this here life get at you, especially, hey, like you coming into this here truth, man, you're going to be at the bottom of the barrel, you're going to be looked at like everybody's going to be looking down upon you first and foremost, So, let's just say you came out of the world and in the world you was somebody, you know what I'm saying? Maybe you was somebody famous or just on a small local level, people around your neighborhood or whatever really knew you or whatever, whatnot. You was really big with the women or whatever, whatnot. Now you came into this here truth and all that's going out the window. You're not getting that kind of attention no more. The women ain't rocking with you no more, or people all are looking at you and laughing at you. Now this is kind of hurting your pride or whatever, whatnot. But hey, man, you got to push through all those things, man. All right, these are the things you're going to wind up having to suffer and much more, man. All right, it's really unexplainable about all the different things you could suffer in this thing, because really every person is a little different, man. All right, so your suffering is going to be a little different. But verse 5 says, for gold is trodden in the fire and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. All right, just like being in the streets, and you can be like, how they would say, oh, that's a real ass nigga, man. That nigga real ride or die or whatever, whatnot. Let's just say, truthfully speaking about these scenarios, that person saying that noticed because they was in a scenario with this here person and they proved themselves through their actions, through their works. All right, that they was really about this life. They not the person on the internet talking about, oh yeah, when I see this person that's on site, it's such and such, so forth, I'm clapping this nigga up or whatever, whatnot. Then you see the person like, oh man, we need to stop the violence. It's all love. It's all love. Nah, you ain't supposed to be like that. It's like, yo, I mean, hey, how do I put it? If let me see. But nevertheless, trying not to go too far into making an analogy, but nevertheless, you're gonna really see if you really about that life by going through some shit, Like I was using that analogy, people gonna know, let's just say you in a gang or some shit, right? And something going down or whatever, whatnot, or you and your boy just walking or whatever, whatnot. And somebody come up and jump your boy or whatever, or fuck that. You ain't even gotta be in no gang type of situation. You got this partner that you say is your best friend, it's my homie, I'm a ride or die for this nigga or whatever, whatnot. Damn, that's my man's, that's my heart, whatever, whatnot, Then the scenario come around, let's say your boy worked for the government and there's a government shutdown and he ain't getting no paycheck right now, And then on top of that, he got a wife and some kids and whatever, whatnot to feed them. You ain't got no wife and no kid, and you making, some decent money where you just getting your paychecks, they going in the bank, sitting there. All right. Now, what are you going to do in this scenario? Are you going to really show your boy you really about that life? He ain't getting no paycheck. You really going to just, instead of asking him what he need, you just show up with some money. Hey, bro, I'm going to go ahead and give you this and let me know if you need anything else, because I know you're not going to ask for it, but I'm going to go ahead and give you this. If you need anything else, or if you're a little short, you need a little more, let me know. So now that friend knows, like, damn, I didn't even ask him for the money, but he realized that I was out of a job, and he really came through for that, So it says, for gold is trodden in the fire and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. So when the Lord put these temptations on you, all right, or bring these things, You come up out the world or whatever, whatnot. You say you're going to serve the Lord or put him first or whatever, whatnot. All right, well, now these scenarios start to come up. Now you want to desire to go back into the world, or now you desiring this here more and more. Now, it's not necessarily, this is something a little more deeper and spiritual. That's the flesh warring with the spirit, more or less to say, But nevertheless, you have to learn how to combat that. This is a test that you're being shown that you have to overcome in this here test, man. And again, it's easier said than done. Like I said, man, we all going through the same scenario, not just the same exact scenario, but we all have things that we have to work on, and we're constantly taking the same test or whatever, whatnot. Hey, and sometimes you may get frustrated about the situations or whatever, whatnot. Like, damn, why am I always, for instance, like this is like a scenario with me as an example in my life, why am I always catching all kind of crazy ass fucked up hell? Like, this shit is like ridiculous, whatever, whatnot, and I would think, me on my own, I would think I have a lot of patience with things like, damn, this is a lot of little bullshit here and there. But then when, whatever happens to be the icing on the cake type of situation, and you sit there and explode, it's like, oh, wait a minute. You see what I'm saying? You just let you let all these other little small things not really move you, but this one little thing, like, well, yeah, but that was the icing on the cake. Hey, man, but you still have to, endure all of these things, man. It's like Yahushua done went through all those different things, but then now, he didn't endure all the things all the way up to the cross. They put him up on the cross. Now they want to pierce him in the side. Then at this point in time, he's like, you know what? Fuck y'all niggas. I'm going to snap my finger. Here come the angels. All y'all niggas is dead. Nah, man, you done made it that far. You might as well endure to the end, man. All right? Endure to the end. You got to count the cost and endure to the end. All right? You don't want to come this far and lose everything over, a quick little second or whatever, whatnot, of you, leaning back into the flesh, more or less to say, because if you're dwelling in the spirit, you can meditate on these here scriptures, and you'll be able to understand certain things. You'll lean into what the promises of the Most High. But nevertheless, let me continue on. I got quite a bit of scriptures. This is the book of John 15. And 18. It says, if the world hates you. Now, these scriptures aren't in any kind of order or anything like that. Just, going in a couple of different scriptures and giving examples of the same scenarios that, we could be walking through or whatever, whatnot, and how to deal with them. This is John 15 and 18. If the world hates you, ye know that it hated me before it hated you. And if you were of the world would love his own. But because you're not of the world, but I have chosen you out of the world, therefore the world hateth you. All right. So, this might be another scenario that you're going through. Like I said, you may have been so-called a big person in this here world, somewhat popular or whatever, whatnot. But then now you come to this here truth, and ain't nobody really rocking with you like that no more, man. Which is really a good thing, because they really in darkness and they can't do nothing but bring you down. But, this is your flesh that's dealing with you. You can't even quite understand this, It's like, damn, man, I used to be good with the women. Now the women don't even want to look my way. I used to be good with the homies or whatever, whatnot. How they all calling me out as being soft or whatever, or he crazy or whatever, whatnot, You used to have a good relationship with your family or whatever, whatnot. Now they all looking at you like you all something wrong with you, But nevertheless, it says, if you were of the world would love his own. All right, so the world, what is the condition of the world? They in gross darkness, man. All right, the world is full of wickedness right now. All right, but if you were of the world, if you were wicked like the rest of the world would love his own. We say this all the time when we're on the highways and the byways, man. How y'all hate us for telling you the truth, man? Reading out the scriptures. That's all we doing. People hate us for reading out the scriptures, trying to build up the children of Israel instead of tearing them down. But if we was on the side of the road selling drugs to our brothers, or if we was making rap songs talking about killing one another, or things like that, or prostituting out our daughters and things like that, then we would be praised in the streets, man. If we was talking about how many Dracos we got, how many bricks we be selling, how many different guys, wives we be sleeping with, If we was talking about that, then the world would love us, because why? The world is wicked, man. All right, so you could be feeling a little ostracized from the world, like, damn, man, everybody looking at me all weird. Don't nobody want to hang out no more. These women ain't trying to get with me no more. Yeah, because you're not with the world no more. And then subconsciously, their spirit can understand your spirit, and their spirit is telling, their consciousness or whatever, stay the fuck away from this nigga, for he rain on your parade. You know what I'm saying? Because them demons like you to be in that fucked up ass state, basically, But nevertheless, if you've been in this here truth for a while, you'll learn, once you first come into the truth, everybody thinks that you're a party pooper, and they'll tell you to your face, man, we don't want to hear all that preaching bullshit, cuz we don't want to hear all that shit, man. But then when you get a little further into this thing, people don't quite say that to you, but they'll just kind of know, that your spirit is a little different than their spirit. And they might consciously or might not consciously know this, but they'll act a little different around you. Like, what, let's just take our conversation over this way. Let's take our conversation over that way. We don't want to be around this here person. You may be looking around like, damn, man, don't nobody ever want to be around me? Don't nobody want to hang out with me? Like, damn, man, what's going on here? Yeah, because they understand the spirit that's inside of you, man. And you shouldn't be jealous of that or upset about that because you have a righteous spirit and they have a wicked spirit, man. You should be thankful that they're not trying to bring you down, which they are, but openly not trying, you have, a couple different scenarios. Is either they're going to try to bring you down to do the same shit that you doing. They might be like, come on, cuz, man, God ain't gonna kill you for eating this here pork, man. Eat this here pork, man. Let's smoke this here blunt, man. Let's go chill or whatever, whatnot, man. Let's go hit this here lick. Let's go run this train on this nigga wife while he at work right now, man. See, these are the types of things that's gonna keep popping up, man. But how do you have to deal with these things? It's like, you know what? When these but these are the conversations these people are gonna keep coming up with. But when you around men that's in this here truth, man, they're gonna be like, you know what? And even if you are in this truth and you're surrounded by these here scriptures, things are gonna come into your mind, man. The same people might come around you, man. Let's go sleep with this here man's wife or whatever. Wouldn't I don't want to do all that. That's kind of wickedness. You know what I'm saying? However you want to put it or whatever. Whatnot. However you gonna say it to them, or just you know what I'm saying. They know every time you go to every time they go rolling up or whatever, whatnot, or going to go hit a lick or go do whatever, you just kind of get on that side look. Nah, I don't even want to be a part of this or whatever, whatnot. Y'all go do what y'all do. I'm gonna go do what I do. You might just say it to that extent. You don't have to go all into the scriptures or whatever. Y'all do what y'all do. I'm gonna do what I do. I ain't with that shit no more. Now they looking at you all strange, But nevertheless, you have to understand that. Look, they would love you if you was wicked right along with their ass. You know what I'm saying? But because you're not trying to partake in this here wickedness with them, you don't want to go out there and sell a kilo with them. You don't want to go out there and watch these young women be twerking and shit. You know what I'm saying? For example, have any of these men of the Lord be around some of these people in the world, some of these guys in the world as they at work, they scrolling through their little Instagrams and Twitters and Snapchats, looking at all these women. My response is, man, I don't want to see none of that shit, man. To be honest with you, it ain't like being how they call it gay or anything, but in reality, what type of man who desire nice cars and things like that want to go window shopping at a car dealership? Now, you like nice cars, expensive cars, luxury cars, or whatever, whatnot. Now, let's just say you like luxury cars, right? Or sports cars, whatever, sports cars, right? You love sports cars. In fact, you love Lamborghinis, right? That's your favorite shit. Do you really want to go to a Lamborghini dealership and go test drive some Lamborghinis, go look at some Lamborghinis, get some prices on Lamborghinis when you ain't got enough money to go buy you a $50 video game from Walmart? You can't afford $50 at Walmart. What make you think you're gonna get you a Lamborghini? You only just tempting yourself and making yourself feel bad, man. You know what I'm saying? So why even go down that their road, man? All right. Yeah, we read that. We're gonna go over to the book of First John actually now. This is First John 15. This is First John chapter 2 verse 15. It says, "Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him." All right, because why? The Lord told us to come up out of this here world, man. I love not the things of this world, because why? You're gonna start wanting to serve the things of this here world, man. So if you love this here world, you love the things of this world, like making money. All right, you're gonna probably go get you a job where you have to work there all the time. You can't spend none of the time on the Lord or feeding his sheep because you're always at work trying to deal with that. You may love cars a whole lot and you spend all your time out there fixing cars and souping your car up or whatever, whatnot. You don't have time for the Lord, man. All right, anything in this here world, making money, dealing with women or whatever, whatnot. If that's what your main priority is, you can't really love the Lord, man. All right. Let me go from there to this is John 17:14. I have given them thy word, and the world hated them because they are not of this world, even as I am not of this world. I pray not that thou takest them out of the world, but thou should keepest them from the evil. All right. So look, the world gonna hate you is because you was basically taken up out of this here world. All right. But nevertheless, and again, you was woken up and they still sleep, but they can't carnally, how do I say? It's not that they can actually see that, because then they would try to, be on your same level. They were like, all right, let me repent and so on and so forth. But nevertheless, the spirits that's inside of them see you and your spirit see them and vice versa, so on and so forth, So it's like, you may see certain things, but then now that old man, that old flesh is coming up to him, and I desire this, I desire that, or whatever, whatnot, I really want this, I really want that, But you also have to understand that, look, You can't love the world or the things in the world. Now we're going, because we live in the world, we're going to use the world but not abuse the world. All right, so saying that to say this is like, yo man, just because you're not supposed to be a part of this here world don't mean what is part of this here world. Getting married and having kids or whatever, whatnot, being with a woman. Let's just put it that way. Not saying that you ain't gonna be with a woman, or you can't get with a woman or whatever, whatnot. But if that becomes your first priority or too much for you to sit there and handle with this here truth, then you can't. You don't want to be dealing with that. All right. But nevertheless, it says, I give them thy word, and the world hated them because they are not of this world. But I am, even as I am not of this world. All right. So look, the Lord's prayer was that the Most High didn't take us up out of this world, but look, basically that we can endure in this here world, man. Basically, we're like how do I say, eye blinders on us so we don't see all this here temptation and start reaching out for it. So we still have to endure and go through these things, all right? But what, we can't be sitting there reaching our hand outside the little tram and trying to grab low-hanging fruit from off the trees. Nah, the signs say don't touch. Even though it look good, it look pretty, don't touch, because you need to keep your hands inside the rod, man. This is the book of James, chapter, what is it? 4. This is James 4:4. Ye adulterers and adulteresses, know ye not that the friendship of the world is enmity with the Most High? Whosoever therefore will be a friend of the world is an enemy of the Most High. So again, especially when you're coming into this here truth, you're gonna be desiring. You'll start desiring worldly things again, the things that was back in the world. Oh man, I wish. This is kind of like when you go to prison. Before you go to prison or go to jail for the first time, right, for a long stint. You know what I'm saying? You don't really appreciate the things of this here world. You don't really look into these things of what I'm gonna do or what I'm not gonna do. But then when you get locked up, you're like, damn man, when I get out, I'm doing this. When I get out, I'm doing that. Or like, let's say you have a decent paying job, right? And you take it for granted, whatever. Now you've been there for a while. All of a sudden, you're like, you know what? Screw y'all, I'm walking out. I don't even need this job. That's because you didn't got comfortable with that job. Now you got you a job with a less paying income, and now you thinking back, man, I should have kept my job. You know what I'm saying? I should have, I should have stayed over at this here spot. All right, but what? You can't. How do I put it? You can't. You. How do I put it? You can't let little small trials and tribulations make you want to go back into this here world, man. All right, so you at that job and you hate the job, you hate whatever's going on or whatever, whatnot. Maybe you're just having a bad day at the job. But the reality of it is you got good benefits there, you're getting a good wage there, all your bills is paid, and it's not too much. You can handle all that. It's just that these little your coworkers are a pain in the ass, man. All right, same thing here, man. It's like, yo, man, you want all the benefits, you want to be saved, you want all these different things, but what, you have to go through this here trials and tribulations, and so these things are gonna act like your coworkers, man. So if you can, how do I say, plug your ears and drown out your coworkers while you at work, man, everything will be all good. You'll continue to make your good paychecks. You'll be able to pay your bills. Everything will be all straight. You could do the job. You just gotta ignore these people at work. Same thing here, man. You gotta ignore the things of the world, man. You seeing all these new flashy things coming out or whatever, whatnot, that we shouldn't be partaking in or whatever, whatnot, But then all of a sudden you have to compare that picture with what the picture the Most High got for us, man. All right, and then compare that with the picture of the destruction. If you're not saved from that their destruction, man, and see what's more important. Do you want that destruction and that middle picture of what you think is all good, all right, or do you want to forsake that middle thing that you think is all good and escape the judgment? All right, and just be delivered, man. All right, because you serve the Most High instead of serving yourself, mammon, in this here world, man. All right. This is 1 Timothy 6, verse 10. It says, for the love of money is the root of all evil, while some covet after, they have erred from the faith and pierced themselves through with many sorrows. All right, so the love of money is the root of all evil, man. All right, and so you can come into this here truth or do whatever, you can come into wherever, but if you can have a good ass job, you know what I'm saying? A good job. This is how, I never understood in certain scenarios. You watch these documentaries or these movies about these old drug dealers or whatever, whatnot. Like, why would the underling or whatever, whatnot, try to go against the big boss, try to cut him out? It's like, yo, you got a 1 of 1 chance of that making it. It's either gonna make it or it's not gonna make it. You're gonna either fuck up your bag, you're gonna stop your income from coming in, or you're gonna get all the income that you desire. But that's a gamble. Why not just continue on getting the paycheck that you was getting? Why you gonna cut the feet off from up under you? It says, for the love of money is the root of all evil, which some covet after they err from the faith and pierce themselves through with many sorrows. Yeah, for the love of money. Not saying that money is a defense and a tool, but for the love of money. You see all these people that are billionaires and they still trying to get more and more money. Look at it on Jake level, man. They trying to go out fly, flossing, rims on their shit, new cars, whatever, whatnot. And what are the things that they doing for those? When you go in the Jake neighborhood, the Jakes with the best looking cars, the most shiniest looking cars, the newest cars is who? The people that's doing the most wickedness, man. They out there covered in money, all right, through what? Selling drugs or whatever, whatnot, by any means necessary, We're going to go from there to the book of Matthew, chapter 6. This is Matthew 6 and 24. No man can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or else he would hold to one and despise the other. You cannot serve the Most High and Mammon. All right. So you can only serve one God. All right. It's either gonna be, you can either say it this way: you're gonna serve the streets, you're gonna serve the Most High. You're gonna serve this here world, you're gonna serve the Most High. You're gonna serve your own belly, or you're gonna serve the Most High. All right. The Most High wants you to come out and, let's just say, for example, prophesy on the highways and the byways and put up these here videos. But you're like, nah, man, I gotta get to this money. I need to go out and make this here bag. You can't serve two masters. You can't be faking the funk, man. You can't so-called be walking in the spiritual walk and then trying to be walking in the streets at the same time, man. Because you're going to either love one and hate the other one, all right? Or, for instance, you trying to go get the money, all right? And especially on the weekends, throughout the week, you know what I'm saying? The reason you're going to wind up loving one and hating the other is because, look, one day money might slow up or whatever, whatnot, or you just getting greedy and want more and more money. Man, if I wasn't out there on Saturdays, you know what I'm saying? That's an extra, extra day with an extra couple hours in there. If I didn't do a video every day, that's an extra hour so I could be out there getting extra money, man. All right, so you can't serve two masters. Either you're going to love one or hate the other one. But this will make me more money than this one, so fuck it. I'm going to cut this one here off and keep making money with this one, But nevertheless, you're going to either serve the Most High, follow his laws, statutes, commandments, or you're going to follow after this here world, man, and follow after their laws, statutes, commandments. It's a lot. This is Matthew chapter 4 and 8. And again, the devil taketh him, speaking of Yahushua, unto an exceedingly high mountain to show him all the kingdoms of the world and the glory of them, and said unto him, all these things will I give thee if thou wilt fall down and worship me. So this is how the devil's going to come to you. He's going to come to you with an offer, and what a fleshly offer, all the things that you desire with your sight, your ears, your touch, so on and so forth. Man, look at all these kingdoms, with all the glory of them, all the money, all the women, all the everything. Everybody going to bow down unto you. Just bow down unto me. And that's all you got to do. But again, you can't serve two masters, right? You're going to either love one or hate the other one, And plus, these things of the flesh, these things of the world, man, it's not really, how do I say, beneficial to your spirit. This is the book of Habakkuk. Oh, not Habakkuk. Micah. Micah 2 and verse 10, it says, arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted. It shall destroy you even with a sword of destruction. All right, so you have to take your mindset up out of this here place, man. You can't be thinking like the normal rest of these people, man. I'm going to save my money up, go to college, get me a nice job, 401k, buy me a crib, and give me a couple cars, get a wife and settle down. All right, you can't, how do I say, purpose that in your mind and your heart and expect everything to go good, man. This ain't our rest. This is not our heaven, man. We're actually here in our hell, so everything is going to be bad off for us right here, man. You have to understand the position of where you are and who you are and why these things are coming upon you, man. All right, so it's not nothing new, not nothing strange. You know what I'm saying? It is, not to say harsh, but nevertheless, at the end all be all, we almost up out of this. And plus, we also, this is Micah, Micah 7 and 9, it says, I will bear the indignation of Yahweh because I have sinned against him. Until he plead my cause and execute judgment for me, he will bring me forth to the light, and I shall behold his righteousness. So yeah, we have to take up, our afflictions, because wow, we sinned against the Most High. We was worthy of being put to death. So what, we're gonna have to go through these little small afflictions of the furnace, more or less to say. All right, until what, the Lord come and redeem us. This is the book of what am I looking for? Hebrews. Salak. This is Salak. Give me 1 second. I don't know why I clicked that slot. I know I can't find it. Man, I forgot the precept I was looking for. All right, Salak. We're gonna go to this is the book of Hebrews, chapter 4. Oh, I know what I was looking for. Micah 2 and 10. Salak. This is Micah chapter 2, verse 10. It says, "Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted, it shall destroy you, even with a sword destruction." All right, so again, coming into this here place, man. All right, this place, everything here is tainted, man. All right, so the things that you may desire in this here world, the things that you may be tempted to go back to, it's all polluted, man. All right, you may want to go out here and chase these women, but guess what? Man, you should look at some of the shit that's going on with these here women, and some of the shit that's, Jake is catching a lot of hell from these here women, man. Not just that, the children that's growing up, man. You know what I'm saying? It's like an all-out warfare, especially with these Israelite women, all right, against these Israelite men, man. All right, this shit is crazy right now, man. But nevertheless, like, you trying to get with these women, you know what I'm saying? Like, then you start sleeping with these women, try to, pour out your heart to her. Then all of a sudden, she's trying to pull you away from the truth, man. All right, trying to delete your hedge and her hedge. All right, or you get with one of these women, she tell you how much she love you and everything is all good. Then you fuck around and get her pregnant. Then she running down to the courthouse trying to put your ass on child support. Now you got to work twice and 3 times as hard. And you paying child support. Now you at work all the time with all this here overtime. You don't even have time for the Lord now. Everything here is tainted, man. All right, so I'm not saying that you can't find a righteous. It's gonna be hard to find a so-called righteous woman in this here society now, but or one trying to be so-called righteous. But nevertheless, 9 times out of 10 it's gonna roll out like that, man. All right, but you just gotta think about it, man. You want to go buy a house in this here place? Everything over here gonna be turned into a nuclear pile of ash. I mean, so how long is that really gonna be there? You're gonna take your pride into your house. You, Lord willing, probably will only be living in there for like 1 or 2 years or something like that, man. All right, that's all polluted, man. Or what? You're gonna try to get some money here in this society or whatever, whatnot, so-called becoming some big person with a huge bag or whatever, whatnot, when all this here money is being how do I say, being devalued. All right, not saying, don't be too simple with it, like, all right, well, fuck it, we ain't gonna go to work because we don't need this here paycheck anyway because the money getting devalued. Don't be simple like that. But what I'm saying is, if you putting all your heart and your soul into trying to get this here bag, and you don't have time to serve the Lord. Hey, again, you can't serve 2 masters at one time, man. All right, you can't be trying to launch your rap career and get that off the road or whatever, whatnot, and then try to serve the Lord at the same time. Because how much time you put in our studios and critiquing these songs and promotional runs and concerts and radio interviews and all that? Where's the time for the Lord at, man? All right, but now I can use that same example, man. Let's just say you want to be a so-called rapper, just to rap or whatever, whatnot. Not even trying to get famous to get your shit. You just like rapping. You just like hearing your own self rap, right? You know what I'm saying? I actually knew somebody that was kind of like this. Like, I just like hearing my own beats and shit. You know what I'm saying? So this motherfucker literally would just go and make him some little beats, you know what I'm saying, and just be riding around listening to him. But this here person, they grew up in church and in part of the choir or whatever, whatnot, where they used to be playing the piano, and then they also played the drums. So they was very musically inclined. So this was almost like a second nature unto them. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't like that they was doing all this and that. They could just be sitting there. You know how some people can, you see on TV the little white girl twirling her hair while she's chewing bubble gum and playing with her pencil all at the same time. She's not really thinking about, let me twirl my hair here, chew this here bubble gum. It's all like second nature. So she's doing it, second nature. Or like how Jake sometime, be driving in the car or whatever, whatnot, changing the radio station or whatever, whatnot. It's like almost second nature. You don't have to put too much thought into it, Hey, if you can get something popping like that, it's no big deal. But if you got to invest all your time and your strength and all your energy into that, then look, that's not really expedient for you. All right. So, there are some things that, again, for instance, you shouldn't be trying to go out and go so-called buy a house and this and that. Well, think of the scenario. I mean, if you're trying to save up your money and you got to work all extra hard, all these extra hours just to get this here house, I mean, what's the point when you already got your daily bread, your roof over your head, you can afford those bills and everything like that. You shouldn't be trying to go get a house at that point in time. Now, let's just say you got $1 million sitting in the bank account because of some trust fund or wherever you inherited this here money, all right, and you don't want to be living in this apartment, keep paying rent every month or whatever, whatnot, and you in the hood and people breaking into your shit. You done found your little $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 house, that you ain't really got extra. You already got the money in the bank. There's no problem with you going to go buy a house with that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, I just need to get up out of this environment so I can, or you living with roommates, you need to clear your head and you got the money already. It's not really fucking you over. Go ahead and go do that. That's not saying that you attached to the world because you happen to buy a house right now. Every scenario is a little different, Again, like, hey, you probably shouldn't be buying cars right now. You know what I'm saying? You should be focusing in. If you got to go buy a brand new Benz, you got to work two and three jobs to keep the damn Benz and keep it all. Not you doing it for the wrong reasons, But now your car died off. You still got to get to work. You still got to get back and forth. Of course, you need to go get you a new car, man. So there's things that's in the world, all right. But like the scriptures say, use the world, but not abusing the world, all right. So there's things that you're gonna have to deal with in this here world, all right. But at the same time, don't let that consume you. All right. You know what I'm saying? Like, I gave you quite a few examples. You know what I'm saying? You have to be able to decipher certain things like that. Certain things like, hey, is this how do I put it? Building or is this building my spirit or is this taking away from my spirit? For instance, sitting at home watching Netflix, right? Well, if you got such a busy schedule to where you can't watch the videos and study and do your reading and this and that, you shouldn't be watching Netflix. You ain't got no time to really be watching Netflix because what? You didn't put the Lord on the back burner so you can watch Netflix. That's what the fuck you like doing. However, you got a job, you know what I'm saying? You got your job all done for the day or whatever, whatnot, you know what I'm saying? And you come home, you do your little videos or whatever, whatnot, do your little studying, your reading, all right? Because obviously, let's just say you have to work. Let's just say you got a little, not to say a simple job, but a job that you can do in an hour or two and get paid like a regular person's pay wage for a day or whatever, whatnot, It's like, all right, cool, I'm home every day by 12. You know what I'm saying? I didn't, I was doing my reading, studying, watching videos, putting videos up from like 12 to maybe 2 or 3 or something like that. Or, just rounding about. Now, are you going to sit there and watch and do videos all night until you go to sleep and wake back up? No, that's you trying to be over righteous at that point in time. Now, at this point in time, you want to watch some Netflix or whatever, whatnot. You didn't serve the Lord and did what you had to do for your daily bread and everything else like that. Ain't nothing wrong with you sitting down and watching Netflix. But this can't be the thing that consumes your life. Oh, man, I used to go out to the game every weekend to go see the game, or I used to do this, I used to do that. Now, man, I got to choose between doing this and going out there, man. Nah, man, you need to put that on the back burner, man, But let me continue on. This is the book of Habakkuk, not Habakkuk, Hebrews 4:11. It says, let us therefore, because we just read in Micah, this is not our rest, all right? This is Hebrews, and it's going to destroy us, all right? So you trying to live in this here world and keep up with the Joneses in this here world, it's going to just wind up destroying you. Look at everybody else in this here world right now. Everybody living paycheck to paycheck, credit all fucked up. Everything's all fucked up. Why? They trying to keep up with the Joneses, all right? And they don't realize that everything that the Joneses got is all rented anyway. Y'all see the damn new Lamborghini out in the yard. Y'all see the crib out there, whatever, whatnot. Y'all see all these clothes. Well, y'all don't realize this nigga didn't rent an Airbnb. He didn't rent an exotic car. All his clothes is all knockoffs. You see what I'm saying? And all that money he posing with is movie set money anyway. But you trying to go over there and keep up with him with the image that he got, and you over here running down your credit, fucking up this and fucking up that, just the so-called, like, damn, this nigga always coming out with a new car, always got a new crib, always throwing money, always got the new shit on, but you don't even realize all that's fake anyway. But you trying to keep up the real way, And I remember back in the world, I was like this, like real early off when I was a lot younger, I was thinking that, shit, everybody going to work, getting a paycheck and paying for everything flat out, cash money, not realizing there was a such thing as like credit. Like these niggas, they may have a couple $100,000 worth of shit over here, but they only paying like $1,500 a month for all of that shit and bills. You know what I'm saying? All that shit come to is $1,500 a month for all of that shit, man. The house, the cars, all the shit they didn't put on their credit cards. You know what I'm saying? Like, you done went and bought something for $300, just like your regular credit card, right? You go buy some. You can go buy, I don't know how much PlayStation shit costs now, but let's just say they cost like $400, right? You go buy, or an iPhone. You go buy $1,000 iPhone, right? Some of these companies got it like that. Like, oh, go get the iPhone with zero money down or whatever, whatnot. Yeah, you got $1,000 iPhone, but, you only paying $25 a month. You see, you don't have to come up with the whole $1,000, but see, you see somebody with that bitch, you're like, damn, this nigga just went to the store and dropped a whole stack on the phone, cash money. I can't get that phone till I get a whole stack. So let me save up all of my money till I get the amount of money and then go buy it. Or let me save up $20,000-$30,000 to go buy this car, go to the dealership, not realizing that they finance shit out, man. So you over here trying to keep up with the Joneses, but you over here killing yourself to go do something, and this shit ain't even the same. It's all fake anyway. This nigga didn't lease this car. He don't even own the car. But you done went over here and then saved up, you worked to get $20,000-$30,000 selling dope on a block. Everything is all fucked up now, so you can go get this $20,000-$30,000 trying to keep up with the Joneses or live in the world, and the world that they living in is all fake anyway. They all actually suffering right now, man. But you trying to keep up with them. You know, I keep pulling out the women. Oh, you see this dude with this bad bitch, and he got this woman, she looks so bad. You don't know what kind of problems they got in the house, man. You can go on YouTube and look up, you know, I was talking to a brother about this. You know, I happened to click on something, you know, we call it watching folly. You know what I'm saying? Because, hey, again, we don't watch videos 24 hours a day, man. You know, you got to balance certain things out. So we may be on YouTube and watch some, like what we call folly on YouTube. We might be watching some street races, people getting in car accidents or some shit like that, or just crazy shit, you know. Watch people die inside, savage life, thug life type of videos, or people are amazing videos, shit like that. We just call that shit folly, you know. But anyway, whatever it is that you into, you know, some brothers are into sports and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying, watching boxing and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying, we do that shit sometimes, you know what I'm saying, but nevertheless, you know, I akin that to what we call watching folly, you know, because, again, at the end of the day, it's not really edifying, but, hey, you know, we done did everything else we was supposed to do, and, you know, we got time to just live our regular life. But nevertheless, there's a video you can look up, it's like, damn, what's the name of the shit? Crazy ex-girlfriends. Yeah, you look up crazy ex-girlfriends and shit like that, man. And you'll see, you know, in a lot of these videos, these guys got what you would think of as so-called bad-looking women. They find us all outdoors and hearing the problems that they going through with these women, man. All right? If you ain't already going through it and know firsthand already, you can look it up on the internet and see these things, man. And see how these women is dealing with them, treating them, talking to them all kind of ways. And it ain't necessarily they always loud and obnoxious or whatever, whatnot. They could be playing you with that little simple, well, why are you doing this or why are you doing that, you know? Kind of like Esau's tactics, man. I remember I used to work for these damn Edomites at this other job, and these motherfuckers was going to try to blame some shit on me. They wanted to lie on me about something. Like, this one lead man had fucked up something, and he was going to try to blame it on me because I wasn't on his shift, and it was his word versus my word. So homeboy was like, oh, well, like something happened on their shift, they fucked it up, but then they was going to try to put it on our shift, and I was supposed to be the fall guy. So he wrote me up for two different things, one being argumentative, and then he wrote me up for the shit that happened to happen. And I was like, they brought me in the office and asked me about it, like, I wasn't even here for that shit. I wasn't even here yesterday, and that's not even on my shift. I'm not even in that section. I'm not even over there. What are you talking about? So, but the first thing he wrote me up was for being argumentative. So we in there, see, I told you you've been argumentative. I don't know why you always have these problems with me, Dave, or why you always, you know, Dave, you just got something against me, Dave. Like, no, I ain't got nothing against you. I got a problem with you lying on me. Like, if we just look at the facts of the matter, I wasn't here yesterday. I don't work on this shift. I'm not even in that department or even on that side of the plant, bro. Like, where would you even come up with that for? Like, but you need a fall guy for all that, you know. But because I'm over here saying it like this, and you already put in the air that I'm being argumentative, you playing with your you know, your sly emotions. Oh, Dave, you're just acting like this, Dave. Come on, Dave. So from their perspective, like, nah, I'm the aggressor and you're not the aggressor. Like, nah, man. You know, you don't want to be dealing with no problems like that. So all these demons, like these women that you be dealing with, they ain't necessarily got to be all these so-called loud, ratchet women or whatever, whatnot. Some of them be all, you know, I just wanted to do this and do that and so on and so forth, and you're never satisfied. You're always with the brothers, and I just want to spend time with you. I mean, you don't want these kind of problems, man. All right, you really don't want these kind of problems, man. All right, all these things are polluted out here, man. It's all set up to destroy you. But how do we fix all these things? Let's go back to the scriptures. Hebrews 4:11 says, let us labor, therefore, to enter into our rest, and to that rest, lest any man fall after the same example of unbelief. All right, because why? You over here, this is not your rest, right? But let us labor to enter into that rest, all right? And if you're not working towards this here mark, because ultimately, you know, you desire the things of this here world. We all want to so-called live, because, you know, especially the men of the Lord, we realize we've never lived a day in our life, man. All right, yeah, we've been breathing on this here planet Earth, but that ain't really living, man. The air we've been breathing, look, since I was born, bro, I don't think I ever really ate no real food in my life. And some of the foods actually was kind of real, but for the most part, a lot of the foods that I've been eating the majority of my life ain't been real food, man. All right, yeah, when I was younger, I used to see blue skies, you know what I'm saying, more often than now. But I don't really see blue skies, man. The water's all tainted. You know what I'm saying? Now when I got old enough to be at a so-called meritable age and having a family type of age, all the women is corrupted. All the so-called power structures are corrupted, like the schooling system and so on and so forth. So if I was to even have kids, they would have to go through that system that's corrupted. The court systems is corrupted. It's against me. All right. So now, but of course we desire to so-called live and have these things. But what? If you really want these things, you don't want, look, put it this way. You got a house, right? And you want to buy this here house. You just bought this house, right? Now the house is all fucked up and need to be rehabbed, right? But this is the house you want. It's in the neighborhood you want, on a property you want. Everything is bad about this house, or good, bad in a good way. This is a badass house. The only thing is it's got a hole in the roof, holes in the floor, holes in the wall, whatever, whatnot. This here is ripped out the wall and so on and so forth. Got to replumb it, re-electrical. So you got to rehab the house, but you really love the house. But guess what? The house is all shitty right now. If you go in the house right now, I forgot what they call it, where they deemed it uninhabitable, where they say it's something where you can't go inside the house. But nevertheless, they got that little sticker up saying, hey, you can't go in this house. But you love that house. If you really love that house and really want to live in that house, what you got to do? You got to labor to enter into that house. You got to sit there and put in the work. All right, I got to go get the roof redone, the floor redone, the electrical redone, the plumbing redone. I got to go get all this here done so I can go and enjoy my house. Same thing here, man. You might like all the stuff that you see out here, whatever, whatnot, or, you may be tempted to go to these things. And I use the example because, again, it ain't nothing wrong with desiring to have a woman and children and things like that, because actually that's inside of our build-up, our code. We was commanded to be fruitful and multiply. We was commanded to leave our parents and cleave unto our wife. All right, so it was commanded for us to have a family. All right, and we wasn't supposed to put our wife away. All right, so that's inside of our makeup, right? But you have to understand the condition of the fight. All right, if you really want all of these things, labor into that kingdom of righteousness, because this is a kingdom of wickedness. This here place is going to destroy you, man. Everything here is polluted, man. You want money, all right, but the money that you got here is corrupted. It's going to destroy you trying to get this here fiat money. You want real money, labor to get into this here kingdom. I'm not going to just give you money. I'm going to give you these heathen and all the land, and they're going to go in and create money for you. The labor that these heathen is going to do for you, they're going to wind up giving you money, man. That's the real riches, all right? So let us read this again. Hebrews 4:11. Let us labor, therefore, to enter into that rest, lest any man fall after the same example of unbelief. All right, so you got to go ahead and put in some work here, lest you fall, like, again, that house analogy. It's a nice house. Well, the house ain't nice when you're visually looking at it, but you can see, you can see the future of this house, but it's got holes in the walls, so on and so forth, But you need to get in that house and start rehabbing that house. At least you'd be like everybody else that rolled by that house and looked at the house like, oh, no, these are too big of a problems. I ain't finna get that fixed. Oh, no, this hole's all through the house or whatever, whatnot. This house is a problem. If you keep thinking about it like those people wouldn't be thinking about it, you're going to be just like those people who pass that house up and never see the beauty of that house and never living in that house after it was completed. But what? You have to labor to enter into that rest, man. Labor to see everything being fixed, man. Everybody else is just sitting here looking at that, fucked up house. Oh, yeah, the house is fucked up. Fuck it. We're going to just let it roll, man. All right, but what? You desire to actually live into these things and enjoy and appreciating, all these different things of this here world, as far as the women, like your families, your kids, and so on and so forth. You desire to see all these things in perfection, so let us labor for these things, all right? You don't want to fall into unbelief like the rest of these people who's like, the Lord ain't coming back. We're going to always be here, so we got to make the best of our situation here and now. Nah, man, we have faith that there's something better after this, man. We have faith that if we labor for these things, the Lord's going to reward us for these things, all right? Hebrews 6:10, for the Most High is not unrighteous to forget your work and labor of love. All right, your works and your labor of love. You working towards this here thing, working to be about the loosed up out of this here hell, and working to be put into the kingdom of heaven. All right, working to be put into that there rest where you can enjoy all these things. All right, it says, for the Most High is not unrighteous to forget your work and labor of love, which you have showed towards His name, and that you have ministered to the saints and do minister. So you put in this here work, man. You preached and prophesying, building up the saints, man. All right, this is that work to build up this here kingdom of heaven to where we can sit there and enter into our rest, man. All right, but if you don't have the men of the Lord coming out here paving the road for Yahushua's return, then what? The kingdom of heaven ain't gonna get set up. Then we ain't gonna enter into our rest, man. We're gonna still be in this here captivity, in this here hell up under Esau, Edom. All right. I got two more. I'm gonna close out. Matthew chapter 19. I'm gonna start at verse 27, I think. Matthew 19:27. Then answered Peter and said unto him, behold, we have forsaken all and followed thee. What shall we have therefore? Right? So look, basically, we'll get to it. Let me just read through verse 28. Yahushua said unto them, verily I say unto you, that Ye which have followed me in the regeneration, when the Son of Man shall sit in the throne of his glory, you shall also sit upon 12 thrones, judging 12 tribes of Israel. So first and foremost, you're going to be joint heirs with Yahushua, all right? Verse 29, going back to verse 27, all right, about how Peter said we have forsaken all to follow thee. Verse 29, let's look at some of the things that we wanted forsaken. It says, and everyone has forsaken houses, brethren or sisters or fathers or mothers or wife or children or lands for my name's sake shall receive 100-fold and shall inherit everlasting life. All right, so you can't just read the receive 100-fold and inherit everlasting life. You have to take in part that, look, you're gonna wind up giving up all these things, all the things that you love doing, all your favorite activities and everything like that, man. When you come into this truth, man, they ask you what it is that you like doing. Really, it's just the truth, because I don't really have time for anything else, man. Again, you can't serve two different masters. Like, it's either I love playing golf and shit, and I'm playing golf all goddamn day, or I'm gonna serve the Lord, man. I had to put all that shit to the side, man. All right, rereading right here, you're like, yo, you had to give up all these different things, man, and your first priority should be this, man. All right, if you got something else, if you got anything else that you can give up before you can serve the Lord, then you're not worthy to serve me. You should have already given up all those things that's holding you back from serving me. Again, you can't serve two masters. At least you love one and hate the other one. So if you call yourself serving me, you shouldn't have anything else left to give up except for your life. All right, in which that should already be willing to be given up in this here whole thing anyway. All right, so verse 29 says, and everyone has forsaken houses. See, again, they have already done this. All right, and everyone that hath forsaken houses or brethren or sisters or father or mother or wife or children or lands for my name's sake shall receive 100-fold and shall inherit everlasting life. So look, you're gonna wind up having to give up these things, all right? So, and not just, you gave up your brothers or your sisters. Oh, well, I don't talk to my relatives no more, all right? But you might have enjoyed the times you spent with your brother or your sister, or the things y'all used to do, man. I used to love going fishing with my brother. I used to love working on the cars with my brother. I used to love rapping with my brother, or whatever, whatnot, or homies off in the streets, your friends off in the streets or whatever, whatnot, same thing, or, it says, or father or mother, all right? And so, again, this is not saying go cuss them out, but, you might have, your mom might be wanting to throw a family reunion or whatever, whatnot, or they having this big old thing. And especially, if it's falling on the time you need to be going out there doing the work, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, man, you should be doing the work more than this. If you really love them, serve the Lord first and foremost, because they can't save you from this here destruction. But, the Lord find grace and have mercy upon you. He could deliver you and your family, So, you have to serve the Lord first and foremost, put him first, all right? So it says, and everyone has forsaken houses or brother or sister or mother or wife or children or land. So you may have forsaken your woman or whatever, whatnot, or chasing women. Again, you could have been out there chasing women, off in the world or whatever, whatnot. You decided, I'm going to give all that up to serve the Lord. But now you're desiring to go out here and mess with these women. Man, I just want to go out and go fuck with one of these women so bad or whatever, whatnot, But then at the same time, you're the type of person, like, I'm going to wind up spending all my time doing that, I'm going to go from this chick to that chick or whatever. It's just going to be constant. I'm going to go out this weekend and go out next weekend and try to get a couple of them on rotation. If you know that that's how you are, you need to let that go. You know what I'm saying? And just serve the Lord, man. All right. Again, it ain't nothing wrong with having a woman, but look, you have this here woman that's going to want you to spend every dime and time moment of the world right there up under her. Oh, you don't spend enough time. You're like, look, we work together. We live together. We only got one car. We only got one phone. We spend every moment together with each other. What you mean? Now I got to go out here, put in this here work, or I'm in the other room putting up a video. You feel like I ain't showing you no attention. That you need to separate from that scenario, But again, like the scripture says, if you got a wife that's an unbelieving wife that's pleased to dwell with you, hey, don't put her away, man. You may have a woman that don't believe in this here truth or whatever, whatnot, but oh, nigga, you wasting your time going out there preaching. But you know what I'm saying? She ain't really like hassling you to like, well, she could be like, you're wasting your time. Hey, I support you in what you do, but you out there wasting your time with that. I ain't gonna say shit about it. I ain't gonna make no plans for us to do nothing Saturday. Or, my mom invited us over to dinner on Saturday, but I know you wasn't gonna come anyway, so I just told her I was gonna chill by myself. But they ain't gonna, they ain't helping you no way or whatever, whatnot. Hey, she ain't in the truth, but she pleased to dwell with you. You know what I'm saying? She ain't trying to leave you over there. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But again, you have to understand what's gonna try to take you out this here truth, man. All right, you have to put your priorities, line your priorities up first. All right, you have to all your so-called fleshly desires. You have to put that to the side, man. Again, you're gonna have fleshly desires, but you have to put the Most High first and foremost, man. All right. Again, you might want to watch Netflix. Make sure you get your work done first before you start binge watching Netflix, so you don't be sitting there, get off of work every day watching Netflix all day long, and before you know it, you ain't watched a video, read a precept, you ain't served the Lord at all yet, man, because you in this here season of The Walking Dead or Breaking Bad or some shit like that, man. All right, pull out one more precept. We're going to close out. This is the book of Revelation. All right, because the Lord said, hey, he's not unrighteous to forget your work and your labor of love, which you've showed towards his name, and by ministering to his saints. So, like, I didn't pick the wrong script. Nevertheless, he's not unrighteous to forget those things, and all those that gave up houses, mothers, brothers, sisters, wives, and children and lands, you're going to receive that 100-fold. So you want to give up your life here, all right? Or the scripture also say, I'm going to just roughly paraphrase it because, we already at this here time limit. Basically, he that is trying to save his life shall lose his life, and he that loses his life for my name's sake shall find everlasting life, all right? So you trying to go back to that old status that you were in the world, all right? You was this big rapper or whatever, whatnot, but then you stop rapping to come into this here truth, and now everybody, he fell off or whatever, whatnot, and that's getting to you or whatever, whatnot. You keep hearing your fans talk about, you done fell off or whatever, whatnot. So now you feel like you got to prove something to them. So you get back into the studio, start dropping albums, going on tour or whatever, whatnot. But see, now you ain't preaching and edifying no more, all because you wanted to, preach, not preach, but prove something to the world, man. Prove something to the flesh. All right. But look, the Lord say, everybody that gave up all these things, I'm going to return it to you 100-fold. All right. Revelation chapter 21. And I'm going to just read 3 and 4. And I heard a voice out of heaven saying, behold, the tabernacle of the Most High is with men, and he will dwell with them, and they shall be his people. And the Most High himself shall be with them and their power. And the Most High shall wipe away all their tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death, neither sorrow, nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things are passed away. All right, so all your, not to say your desires, because you're going to get all your desires in the kingdom of heaven. But nevertheless, on this here side, man, all right, we just read it, man. You desiring this here woman or whatever, oh, man, I just want one of these bad ones real quick, man. Bad in a good way. I want one of these little thick ones, man. But guess what? That little thotty over there is nothing more than a little thotty, man. She ain't gonna do nothing but bring you death and destruction, man. All right, that ain't nothing but a deep ditch, man. You ain't gonna do nothing but fall in that bitch and can't get up out of that motherfucker for real, man. All right, but see, you could be desiring that same woman, the same exact woman. But guess what? If you get her in the kingdom, Lord willing, what I'm saying, the Lord give you that same woman in the kingdom. Guess what? She gonna be in a better body. All right, because we gonna have better bodies than this, because we all defiled and fucked up. We ain't even supposed to be this small. All right, she gonna have a better body. Her mind is gonna be completely righteous. She gonna be in total subjection unto you. Her desire is gonna be to her husband, which is you, and she's not gonna be going against the Most High, and she's not gonna be trying to turn your kids against you and fucking your kids over, man. So I mean, if you really want that woman, labor to get into this here rest, labor to get everything set up righteously, man. Yeah, again, we understand that you in the flesh and things, you still gonna have these desires or whatever, whatnot, and these things that keep popping up or whatever, whatnot. But hey, man, we almost end all be all these things, man. Focus on the fight here at hand, man. Like I referenced earlier, that movie with I think it's Dead Presidents, where they was out there in Vietnam or whatever. He's like, man, I don't give a fuck about my wife and my kids right now, man. Only thing I'm worried about is getting my black ass back home, And that's the mindset you should be thinking in right now, man. Forget everything else here, man. The cars, the clothes, the women, and status, and all these things. We're going to get all that in the kingdom of heaven, hey, especially if we the first fruits, man. All right, we're gonna be glorified on the side of these heathen on this side and on the other side, man. All right, so, hey, that's what you really want. Work for the Lord, man, instead of trying to work for the devil, man. You can only serve one God. You can't serve two gods at the same time, man. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and close out with that. Lord willing, the elect was edified. Lord willing, that, the sheep that was inquiring about these things, man. Lord willing, this was used to build you up and others that was like you, that we can endure into the end and that we all make it up out of here, on that first go round, all right? So with that, I'm going to go ahead and close out, say, call halal Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, Rakakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone that taught us this truth and that rule well. And citation and much love for your Arkan pushing this truth and sincerity on the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions to feed and edify the elect. Until next time, I say stay strong and shalom.